Welcome to the Blanco Wellness Podcast. Thank you for being here. Take a breath, and just for a moment, let this be enough, not a stepping stone to something else, just this. There is a sentence that lives quietly inside most people's minds. Repeated so often, it has stopped sounding like a choice and started sounding like a fact. It goes something like this: I will be happy when I find the right person, when the financial pressure eases, when I get past this particular season, when the children are older, when the project is finished, when life finally arranges itself into the shape I have been working toward. The details shift from year to year, but the structure stays the same. Happiness located just ahead of wherever you currently are, always one more arrival away. The problem is not the wanting things, working toward things, caring about how life develops. None of that is the issue. The problem is the quiet agreement the mind makes, underneath all the wanting, that the actual experience of being alive must be postponed until the conditions are right. That today is preparation, and that the real thing comes later. Think about how consistently this plays out across a whole life. A student waits for graduation, then for the job, then for stability, then for a sense of having finally arrived at something that feels like solid ground. But solid ground keeps receding. Every destination, once reached, reveals another destination waiting just beyond it. Every finish line becomes the starting line for the next race. Every achievement, after a brief settling period, becomes simply the new baseline. The thing that is now normal, unremarkable, already in the past, as the attention moves forward to whatever is not yet secured. An old story makes this visible in a way that is difficult to dismiss. A man kept a particular bottle of wine for years, saving it for the right occasion, a significant celebration, a milestone worth marking, a moment that felt important enough to justify opening something he had waited so long to open. Each year he found a reason to wait a little longer. The bottle sat unopened for decades. Eventually, his family discovered it after he had gone, still waiting on the shelf. The perfect occasion had never arrived, and now it never would. He had spent his life carefully preserving an experience he never allowed himself to have. Many people do a version of this, not with wine, but with peace, with rest, with the permission to actually enjoy what they are building while they are in the process of building it. Joy gets filed under later. Gratitude gets deferred until there is more to be grateful for. The appreciation of ordinary life gets postponed until the extraordinary version arrives. Meanwhile, the ordinary version, which is in fact the only version that ever actually exists, moves past, largely unattended. The Taoists looked at the natural world and found in it a consistent demonstration of a different way of being. A flower does not hold back its blooming until conditions become perfect. It opens according to the season it is actually in, with whatever light and warmth are available to it right now. A river does not wait at its source, accumulating itself until the moment feels right to begin flowing. Everything in the natural world participates fully in the present conditions, not in some anticipated future set of conditions. And through that full participation becomes exactly what it is meant to be. The Tao does not defer, it moves through what is here. The Chinese concept of Dangxia, this present moment, this immediate now, was considered by classical thinkers not as a way station between a meaningful past and a more meaningful future, but as the only actual site where life occurs. The past exists only in memory. The future exists only in anticipation. The present is the one place where anything is actually happening. the only ground on which anything can genuinely be experienced or changed or felt. To live perpetually in anticipation of a future moment is to spend your actual life in a waiting room for a life that keeps rescheduling. The Zen tradition makes this point with characteristic directness. A student once asked a master when he would finally find peace. The master replied, "When you stop chasing it." The student pushed back. "How can I stop chasing peace if peace is what I want?" The master said, "Because what you are looking for is already here." This sounds, at first encounter, like a riddle designed to frustrate. But sit with it long enough, and something clarifies. The peace that exists only after all the conditions have been met is perpetually unavailable, because conditions are never perfectly met. There is always something else to manage, something else to resolve, another thing on the horizon requiring attention. The peace that exists now, imperfectly and incompletely but genuinely, in the actual day you are in, that peace is actually accessible. And the difference between these two is not a difference in circumstance, it is a difference in where you are looking. None of this is an argument against ambition or effort or caring about the future. The Taoists were not passive. The Buddhist practitioners were not without goals. The point is not, stop moving forward. The point is considerably more specific. Do not trade the experience of today entirely for the promise of tomorrow. You can pursue something meaningful and still appreciate your morning. You can work toward a future you want and still be genuinely present for the life being lived while you work toward it. These are not opposites. The person who insists they will enjoy things properly once everything is finally in order tends to discover, when things are finally in order, that the habit of deferral has become so established that enjoyment still does not quite arrive. The habit was the problem, not the circumstances. Here is a question worth sitting with honestly. If you reached every goal you currently have, what would you hope to feel? Peace, maybe, a sense of security, freedom, the feeling of having arrived somewhere. Now ask the harder question. Is there any version of those things available in your life right now, imperfect and incomplete as it currently is? Not the full version, not the resolved, finished, everything sorted version, just a trace of it, a small genuine access point. Because if those feelings only exist at the end of the road, you may spend your entire life on the road without ever experiencing what you were walking toward. If they exist now, even partially, everything changes. As we close today, I want to leave you with something simple. What part of your life are you currently postponing? Not forever, just until later, until better, until the version of things that feels more worthy of full attention. And what would happen if you gave that part a little attention today, in the imperfect form it already has? The life you have been waiting for is not waiting somewhere in the future. It is already here, already unfolding, already full of things that will one day seem more significant than they do now. The only question is whether you are paying enough attention to notice them while they are still happening. Thank you for being here with me today. Until next time, be well.